Houston Real Estate Radio starts right now.
Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. Hope you're enjoying the very end of your spring break. We've got a lot to talk about today in today's show. We've had David Jarvis here on last segment talking about Metrostudy, kind of what they've come out with their new studies, information and updates on the market, what's going on in the Houston area. And up next, you're going to find out if you would make a good landlord. So stay tuned for that. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people that have been calling in for the buyer's guides that James and I are giving away. The buyer's guides are put out by the National Association of Realtors, and you can get your free buyer's guide by calling in at 281-882-8088 and leave us your real estate question, and we'll be happy to answer that on the air for you. And as always, if you miss any of today's show or any shows, you can catch up with them by visiting us on Facebook or going to HoustonRealEstateRadio.com and watching the videos of the show. All right, so we're back with more from Metrostudy, and you've given us a lot of great information on what's going on in the housing market, both here in the Houston area and at kind of the national level. One of the things that we were hearing a lot about last year that we're not hearing about now is that shadow inventory. What would you say about that? Because we were kind of wondering, are we going to have this shadow inventory come up after the foreclosure issues, and we really haven't seen any. So what do you think?
The shadow inventory was a theory. And a lot of it was born from the robo-signing issues in other states where there was a pent-up or a stack-up of foreclosure properties that were held up in the foreclosure process and not making their way back to the market. That didn't happen in Texas. We have different laws. We have different foreclosure kinds of processes. Here in Texas, we work our foreclosure problems through the market pretty quickly. And so we never believed that we never saw any evidence, put it that way. Never saw any evidence that there was that this pent-up group of homes that was suddenly going to burst onto the market, or the shadow inventory, as it was flagged, and that really has been borne out. We just don't we don't see it. I think we're past even the point of conversation about this at this point.
Great, that's good.
I think that's true. One of the things about Texas real estate law is it's very friendly to the homeowner as long as you're paying, and then as soon as you're not paying, it flips on a dime and it becomes very friendly for the mortgagee to foreclose and get the property back.
Yeah, no pay, no stay.
That's right. So the only time I heard of any shadow inventory in Texas, and I know that was a nationwide thing, was when Bank of America and some of the other banks voluntarily withheld their inventory because they were having trouble processing so many foreclosures, and that was several years ago.
That's right.
So as far as how demand is supporting the economy, we are hearing a lot about an influx of people into the Houston area. I mean, we hear that every day because of all the job growth going on. Talk to us a little bit about that and what's going on and what you expect to see over the next few years.
Yeah, we have tremendous job growth in Houston. In fact, the Texas Workforce Commission just released their revised numbers for 2012. In 2012, we generated over 100,000 brand new jobs, and that is the third best year of job generation in the history of Houston, Texas. And
wow.
The January numbers just came out this weekend, and the trailing 12 months is even better.
Wow.
So it's amazing. Because of that, we have a tremendous population growth. We are sitting at something like 6.1 million people in Houston right now, Houston area, and that's projected to grow to 9 million people. Imagine another 3 million people on the road in front of you in the morning trying to get to work.
Projected how soon to be up to 9 million people?
In some 20-25 years.
Okay. Well, you can definitely see it when you drive around. You can see the influx of people that are coming in, and the malls are filled. I was in the malls this over the weekend, and I assume it was full of spring breakers, but I couldn't find a parking spot. So it's the economy is definitely on the upswing here in Houston.
Yeah, the landlords are being a landlord is back in vogue. If you're in retail and you're the landlord, you hold all the cards right now.
What do you know about the rental market? What does your study say about the rental market?
Well, the rental market is very, very strong. Whether it's single family or whether it's apartments, they're very, very full. Rates are going up. Most dramatically would be in and around Uptown, Galleria, inside the Loop. Rents went up almost 13% just last year. That's tough. I don't know how you keep up with that.
So you want to be a landlord. It's good to be a landlord.
It's a good time to be a landlord.
The good thing we're talking about that next segment.
Right. That's right.
And single family's doing well. Very, very high occupancy. A lot of people signing 1 and 2 year contracts as they get settled in Houston and start to look around and decide where they want to live. And then that's good for the landlords as well. That's
a good thing to do when you get here. Rent for a while, get a feel for the city, and then decide where you want to live before you buy. And that's definitely a good time to rent.
One of the things that we're seeing in some of the new homes being built is they're changing a little bit based on the demographic changes that are happening. We're seeing what a lot of builders are calling the next gen homes, and those homes have, I mean, they're your standard kind of typical home with your game room and your living room, but then they have this kind of extra quarters. And I think that we've talked about here earlier today that they were kind of being built and designed for people who are bringing in kind of their baby boomer parents who need to come live with them. But what the builders are seeing, what we're hearing is that it's a lot of children moving back home.
Yeah, what's neat is this multi-generational design is more popular than it might have been. It's not just parents or a parent coming back to live at home. It is kids with disabilities. It's kids that have graduated college, haven't found their first job yet, coming back home. And Kehavnanian and Lennar both have a lot of that kind of product that's worth looking at.
Yeah, I've seen, and depending on the price point, it's anything from just having a bathroom and a separate bedroom downstairs as opposed to all the bedrooms being upstairs, or we were at a model a few weeks ago by Darling Homes. That's a complete, they call it the new modern home. It's a completely self-contained suite within the house with a separate entrance, separate kitchen, separate living area. The only thing that makes that a connected part of the house is one door.
And you can lock that door?
And you can lock that door.
Yeah, it's really
As a matter of fact, if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see a picture of it.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So the role that realtors are playing in influencing consumer perceptions about new homes, what do you think?
Well, I think the realtors are a tremendous aid for the home builders. They assist in about 70 to 80% of all of the new home sales transactions. So I think it's a wonderful relationship between the realtors and the professional service that they offer the buyers and assisting them through the process of buying a home.
Well, David, thank you for coming in. I definitely, you're always informative, and I appreciate the time that you spent with us.
Yeah, James, appreciate being here today. Shannon, thank you.
Hope you'll come back in a few months or so and give us an update.
Yeah, happy to.
Okay. I'm James Brown here with Shannon Register, and you're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. Shannon and I will be right back after a word from our sponsors.